Hi everyone. Today, I'll be presenting a quick guide on breaking a lease in Victoria. We'll cover key points, including your rights as tenants, steps to end a lease early, potential costs involved, and how to minimize them. Let's begin. Let's start with an overview of what we'll cover today. Your rights and responsibilities as a tenant when breaking a lease. The steps you need to take to end a lease early. What costs you might face and how to minimize them. Legal protections and resources available to tenants in Victoria. Breaking a lease doesn't have to be overwhelming if you understand these fundamentals. Next, let's look at situations where you can break your lease without paying any costs. The simplest way is through mutual agreement with your landlord. If both parties agree, you can terminate the lease early without any financial penalties. However, if you're experiencing family violence or severe financial hardship, you can apply to the Victorian Civil and Administrative Tribunal, or VCAT, for an order to terminate the lease. To do this, you'll need to provide strong evidence, like financial records, medical documents, or police reports. Once VCAT approves, you can legally end your lease without facing lease break fees. For detailed instructions, check the resources on the Tenants Victoria website. In cases where cost-free termination isn't possible, you'll need to follow the standard process for breaking a lease. Start by notifying your landlord in writing with a clear vacate date. This notice should include the date you plan to move out and return the keys. You may face certain costs, including pro rata advertising fees and reletting fees, which cover the landlord's efforts to find a new tenant, compensation for any rent lost between your move-out date and when a new tenant moves in. It's important to know that these costs must be reasonable and proportional, as required by Section 211A of the Residential Tenancies Act. You can minimize these costs by offering to assist with advertising or ensuring the landlord actively seeks a new tenant. I'll explain more about this next. To reduce the financial impact of breaking your lease, you can take these proactive steps. Give early notice. Inform your landlord as soon as possible. The earlier they know, the more time they have to find a replacement tenant. Assist with inspections or advertising. Offer to make the property available for viewings or help advertise the listing. This shows you're acting in good faith. Ensure the landlord mitigates losses. Landlords are legally required to minimize their losses by taking reasonable steps to re-let the property. If they don't, you can challenge excessive costs at VCAT. Also, document all communications with your landlord, emails, text messages, and any agreements in writing. This helps protect your rights if there's a dispute. Finally, use Consumer Affairs Victoria's rent calculator to ensure any costs you're charged are fair and accurate. To wrap up, let's go over some key resources and takeaways. For legal guidance, refer to the Residential Tenancies Act 1997, specifically Section 211A, which explains how lease break costs should be calculated. Use practical tools like the rent calculator and the Notice of Intention to Vacate form provided by Consumer Affairs Victoria. If you're unsure about any step, contact Tenants Victoria for professional advice. Breaking a lease can be complex, but with the right knowledge and preparation, it's manageable. Remember to act in good faith, stay informed, and document everything. Thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.